I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at the IfIRuledTO event at the Sheridan Center in downtown Toronto. I'm here with SHUKRI Dualeh. How did you get involved in this wonderful organization?
I actually was a part of the youth steering committee, so we've been actually planning this event for months. So it's actually quite incredible to see everything that we worked so hard on come to life today.
And what is the importance of having these amazing mentors here today talking to these great kids?
Like, it's really important for the young people to connect with adult allies so they could, because we all have great ideas, and sometimes what we lack is vision or ways to make that idea actually become a reality. So this is where adult allies come into play, because they kind of help you with the ground steps or the correct wording to use. So it's really important for young people to be able to connect with somebody in the community who could help them in that sense.
And you've been really connecting with the community yourself, doing all this great work. Has there been anyone in your life who's especially inspired you, who's been a mentor to you to help you achieve all the things that you've been working on?
Yes, it would be my mentor and brother, Luis Mexicano, better known as Spin. I met him when I was 19, and I met him at a crucial point in my life, and he was able to really demand a lot from me. He made me push myself, and he's the reason why I'm actually on the youth steering committee. He pretty much said that I have a lot to say, and there comes a time where we can no longer remain silent, and we have to become very vocal about what it is that we want to see different in the community. This is the year of the youth. TCHC in history has never done anything this huge for the youth ever. So it's really awesome to be a part of that whole history making that's happening today in this room in the Sheridan.
And where's the best place to find out more information on what you're doing with Toronto Housing and this entire community, and to get involved online?
You could follow me, I guess, on Twitter. My name is Shukri D at Shukri the Cool. Yeah, and yeah, you could see a few of the projects that I'll be working on this year and the year to come.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on all of your tremendous efforts, and have a great time today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats in downtown Toronto. Providing me with today's wardrobe.
Why are you here? Why is this important to you?
I mean, you know, I actually had said this in the drop that I did for this. The fact that, you know, we all relate to these communities. I know I came from modest beginnings. I've lived in pretty much every neighborhood. Jane and Finch could probably, Jane and Finch would claim me, and that's really where I'm from. But I lived in Rexdale, I lived in Malvern, and just understanding what those communities are, and they ultimately raised me, gave me the confidence to go out here and to pursue my goals, and now to be able to have the opportunity to be out on a worldly exposure, and global exposure. But this is where I started from. This is my roots. So to have the opportunity to connect with the youth and us be able to just talk and share our experiences and for them to see that whatever their aspirations are, that they're tangible. Everyone here represents that. And I think, there's power in numbers. So the fact that we're all here, the energy that's here, the care that's gone into this, is a great thing to be a part of. And, I want to say long overdue, but the most important thing is that, it's happening now.
Can everyone answer that question?
I think for me, I do a lot of youth work, and it's just a great opportunity to have young people look at people who look like them, who come from communities that they come from, and see success stories that they can identify with. And I think our being here just helps to empower them to follow, the path that we've kind of set for them and actually take it, so much further, because they have, the social media and all that stuff that a lot of us didn't have when we were coming up, that they can follow the path that we set, but then just become trailblazers and take it to somewhere completely new. So I'm just here to share, what I've done and what I've experienced, and help as many people as possible to try to have the confidence to move forward and take that run.
Well, I came from Lebanon. I'm an immigrant here, so I wasn't born and raised in Canada or in Toronto, but I live in Toronto now. And I've come a long way. My parents sacrificed a lot for me and my family, and we didn't really have much growing up, but they sacrificed everything for us to have a better life here in Canada. So if I can make it here, then anybody can, and that's part of why I'm here.
I think, for the reason for me, I was part of the system. I was in the children's aid when I was a kid. When you lose both parents and you're on your own, you tend to feel like nobody's there, so you decide you want to go another path. But for me, I decided that I could do something different, and I could actually work with kids as of now, because they can learn from my experiences as a child growing up. Because I was going through all the struggles. I was homeless and all that stuff, so I went through all that stuff. So I learned a lot of different things with that. So I'm able to help kids and steer them in a different direction.
Well, I'm here definitely to be a part of the conversation. I was raised in what was called Metro Housing before it became Toronto Housing Authority for 18 years of my life. My mother worked at General Motors and raised 9 children and paid rent, market rent as she would call it. But aside from that, I feel that we're able to speak to one another on social media, but sometimes celebrities and artists are untouchable and unreachable, and so to be able to actually be here to connect physically, it's a big deal. And I think that we need to take time to listen. Oftentimes these summits, it's really about us telling them how you can make it, follow this path and that path, and I think there's a lot to be said in what these youth have to say and what they're actually learning out there, and be able to be our teachers. So I'm here actually to learn as well as to teach.
I think this youth summit is one of the best things that has happened within TCH. I've been living in the Falstaff community for a good portion of my life, and to see, I personally feel that this event has been long overdue, but I'm happy that it's here now. I'm happy that I'm a part of the committee. I'm happy that I was able to assist in making the youth and their voices be heard.
Touching on what Julie Black said, it's really important to have these type of conversations, and IfIRuledTO Toronto is a platform to have our voices heard and really be a part of that dialogue. Today we're gathered with decision makers, community members, young people, and it's really about listening to those voices and trying to make concrete actions in order to solve some of those issues that concern us young people.
Hey folks, my name is Jada, man. This summit is very imperative, very important, because the youth, I'm still a youth, I hope so, but I'm active in what we call the streets, in the neighborhoods, and the youth actually don't see any models, any, as Julie would say, celebrity type figures come to them and actually show them that they care and they can make a difference with their lives, right? All they see is their neighborhoods, and they're stuck within the walls of their neighborhood. So this allows them to go outside of the neighborhoods, get exposed to even being downtown for the first time, and interacting one-on-one with people who they look up to from the communities. Some more high profile, we're on the rise, and it's a good blend, definitely. It's needed, for sure.
My name is Latoya Rodney, and I think that it's evident based on the numbers of youth that came up today. When you open a space like this and give them an opportunity to come, they'll come. I got involved in the gang life activities when I was younger because I didn't have things like this to go to. So when you guys give the youth an opportunity like this, they're gonna come, and that's all I have to say.
Ask me what I think. And that's pretty much it. It's an opportunity to really have our voices heard and really get the message across. And I forgot to introduce myself, but my name is SHUKRI DUALEH, and I'm one of the rising leaders within my community. And I think it's a blessing to connect with different areas within the city all under one roof. So that's a change in itself, because things like that usually don't happen.
One question, last question for me. I'm just doing the documentary for asked. One book that you would recommend, name the author and why. Everyone, please.
Okay.
All right. So one book that I'd recommend that everybody working with youth should get is what it's called, Whatever It Takes. It's a book on Jeffrey Canada. Forgot the author's name. Sorry about that, but that's the book that everybody needs for sure.
The book that I would recommend is the autobiography of Malcolm X, as told to Alex Haley. That book is very crucial, especially for the young men and women to read, because it speaks about some of the challenges that we face in our community, but it also gives you a more proactive, objective rather than reactive ways of really addressing some of those issues. And I believe Malcolm X is an icon in himself, and him and his wife, his late wife, Betty Shabazz, have done a lot of great things for the community.
Coming back to me, Latoya Rodney. I think that I'm going to recommend the Bible, because the reason why I say that is because there needs to be more spiritual leaders that are working with the youth as well. That's a part of why, that's a part of what they're missing, why they're getting involved in certain things, and that's just my opinion.
Well, she took my book. I also agree. The Bible is, I guess, a book that I would recommend to a lot of people to read. Not only does it teach leaders to become, I guess, spiritual guidances, but it also enriches the leader themselves to help themselves and help others.
Wow, so many books, right? Definitely BIBLE. I would recommend The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Being an artist and a musician, it's so easy to. The Four Agreements basically is don't take things personally, don't make assumptions, be impeccable with your word, and always do your best. And the one that resonates the most with me is always do your best, because your best today may not be your best tomorrow. So, oftentimes we're so critical of ourselves and critical of others, when that day I may have a flu, and that's the best that I can do for that day. So I need not beat myself up and just give all I can. And that can apply to any aspect of your life. So The Four Agreements is an easy read, something you can throw in your purse or your man purse. Carry it anywhere with you.
First and foremost, I want to make a point of the fact that this is it's a community thing, as far as not only the youth that are present, but just in general. It's like this is an us thing. As Canadians, like, I don't want this to seemingly be just about black youth. There's a lot of black youth that are present, but a lot like Carl's story of coming, his parents coming from Lebanon and then striving and achieving all that he has. I'm proud of him and proud to be able to call him my brother. So, just so it's clear, this is a community thing. What happens to the next man is essentially what happens to you. How we treat each other is crucial. And on to selecting a book. Let's see. I guess there's two. Aside from the Bible, I guess there's two I would recommend. I personally think that The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene is an excellent read. I think it really opens your mind. I think I would say 16 is probably a good age to get at that book, because it gets you into different different time periods in history, and it gives a lot of great analogies that are applicable to life today, and how to conduct yourself, and understanding sort of the nature of humans, just how we are, how we interact with each other. Some things that we do subconsciously, and some things that are taught. But the other book I would recommend is Pablo Coelho, The Alchemist. I think it's a great read. Just metaphorically speaking, I think it's an amazing story that can really encourage and empower anyone that's reading it to understand that a dream first put into thought is the first step to taking action towards that dream. So those probably be my books.
I guess for me, he took the. For me, it's the Bible. I mean, that's what I grew up on. You know what I mean? And I think if you look at it, it helps you. It helps your spirits and everything else like that, and it also helps you guide you in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I use the Bible, and that helped me in a lot of situations. So I would recommend that.